Okay. Live. So lame. Um, it's been a minute. I can only say I got sick and caught up with life. That's why I didn't make it sooner. Again, I'm just trying to make these at least once a week. And today I'm going to review the Storymatic cards. Yeah, it's been a month. Damn. That's how it goes, though. Sometimes you just have to ride the wave of life, get sick, fall down, pick yourself back up. Um, yeah, it's all good. I know that I'm alone here so far, but yeah, everything requires work. Isn't that the case? It doesn't matter, even if you have your dream job, it's the work. Even you want a great relationship, you got to do the work. You got to take care. You want your health to be optimal, you got to put in the work. And I really love working. I've been working nonstop since I was probably 14. Yeah, 14 I think I had my first job. And I think it is through the doing that you learn the most about yourself. And writing is a reflection of the doing because writing teaches you how to think. You don't know who you really are until you observe your stream of consciousness. And writing is the best tool to learn about yourself, as well as your perspective on the world around you. And why I say everything takes work, it's because I don't know who may have fooled you along the way thinking where, one day it'll get easier. One day you won't have to work so hard for the things you desire. But it's a foolish way to think in this world to wake up and, oh, I have to do this, right? I have to do that. Just that general disposition or general negative attitude towards work in itself, when that's what humans are designed to do. And we have it really easy now for the most part. We have, depending on where you live, though, that is. But I just am saying this because it's so easy to get caught up if you don't like your day job and you don't like what you're doing, but it's still your life and it's still your time that you're clocking in for. And I know I can get down on having to do a day job, then having to go home and do work after, and I can get burnt out. I can get in my head, spiral, and then hurt myself with getting burnt out. It's just learning how to figure out what works for you, but it will require work, is what I'm kind of getting at. Anyways, I'm blabbing. Um, yeah, I hope everyone out there is doing okay. This month is really difficult for a lot of people. It's not all happy, merry go lucky, and I I know that's challenging. And again, let's use writing as a tool to get through that and kind of put our feelers out there through words and the things that we're stuck on in our head and make something out of them by doing the work. Just gonna see that YouTube is indeed streaming this. Yeah, it looks like error. Please stream 4 seconds or less. Keyframes are not being sent off to note. Okay, so it looks like I'm gonna have buffering issues on this live, but that's okay. I'm just gonna ignore that because we're already starting. Hello, all. Talk to me. Does anyone see that movie? That's a great movie. Oh, yes. 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 Um, yeah, I think I need to get on here more, doing it more for people to engage. Thank you to my 619 subscribers, and I still do have, for subscribing. Um, so I'm going to review my cards and I'll get into that as we go. I blew my nose too hard when I was sick, so this ear is still really plugged, and I hope I can hear my own thoughts or not. Um, Again, I'm doing this because I don't want to be a critic in the world. Um, I find I'm not seeing a lot of movies that I want to see or original ideas that I think could really. There's just so much room for people to put their ideas out there, and now more than ever, it's easier to get a film made. I just love that idea. I spent years pitching at film festivals, and things kind of never progressed to actually production, but I've worked on film sets. I know you can make it happen if it's a story you really want to tell, or you could write a book. I'm trying to write a couple books at the moment, and I think that's why this is a fun exercise, and I hope you enjoy it. And I'm just going to kind of review what we did last time. So the cards last time were Survivor, Storm Chaser, Long Awaited Invitation, and Monsters. And through that brainstorming, I really, again, so Survivor, I thought a lot about maybe that's a given characteristic of the protagonist that I'm going to work with. And then Storm Chaser, what would compel someone to chase storms? And I think the vision I got was this exciting incident had happened to this character, and they continued to chase the storm, chase the original trauma that they took or experienced, and became addicted to that idea. And then the long awaited invitation I'll get into, and then the monsters themselves. But basically, I'm just going to kind of give my log line. When a global lightning event unleashes monsters in human skin, a young survivor finds refuge in an anonymous online group of others who can see them. But as the creatures close in, she must unite with the survivors in person to expose their hold on society before the monsters claim her for themselves. So again, it's just like a muscle when you're writing. You get better at doing the downloads and having ideas click to you. You have to build up that toolbox through your own exposures, reading a lot, watching different movies, listening to music. Everything can be inspiration, and the way you strengthen your antenna is just really trusting your taste. I cannot emphasize that enough. As a writer, you have to trust your taste and your instincts and what leads you into what you feel is a truthful expression of something. For me, I really loved this idea of a survivor, and what did she survive? Well, I thought of the storm chaser, and I was like, what if there was this unique lightning event that happened all across the world? One day, it was unprecedented. Every continent experienced it. And as a result, there were many individuals that were struck by lightning that day. And this special lightning gave them the ability to be able to see these interdimensional beings that had used that unique lightning storm to cross over into our world and hide in human skin. And then this survivor was not only a survivor of that, but she's a survivor having been gifted or cursed, you could say, with the ability to see these monsters. And not everyone can. Only those that had that unique lightning strike them that day can. I just thought that was kind of a unique, isolating experience for a survivor to go through. And in her turmoil, in her being shunned from society, essentially, or everyone thinking she's crazy, she turns to an online group where there are other survivors of this crazy incident of the lightning. It's always funny explaining these kind of ideas, but whatever. I fucking love this idea. And then from there, so she has this community she has found, this online community like we're doing right now. I'm talking to you and we are connecting, if you are listening to this, through an online platform. How cool is that? I don't know. I still think we're living in the best time ever. Yeah, there's so many awful things going on in the world, but the fact that I can talk to you live down the lens of my camera and connect and share ideas, I think is pretty spectacular. I think this is the best time ever to be alive and to be a writer, creator, a creative. A lot of people would disagree with me, but that's kind of my conclusion. Okay, so that's kind of the synopsis. I'll read just some of my notes. So when a once in history lightning storm rips through the sky across every continent, interdimensional beings slip into Earth wearing human bodies like disguises. Only survivors of these direct lightning strikes can see the monsters beneath the skin. And for years, Eve is our protagonist, has tried to live with this horrifying secret while everyone around her thinks she's losing her mind. So again, she's the survivor of this incident, and her friends and family don't know what she's going on about, with being fearful of seeing certain individuals and recognizing that maybe it's something in their eyes. I didn't kind of get into the physical characteristics of how the monsters expose themselves to these survivors. Finding refuge in an anonymous, oh my gosh, this ear, I find it like hard to talk right now. Finding refuge in an anonymous online survivor group called Storm Chasers, Eve grows closest to a member known only as B, a storm chaser who insists everyone keep their identities hidden. But when Eve's artwork unexpectedly gains real-world attention, she risks revealing herself, and B disappears, cutting her off from the community she relied on. Eve chooses to take a leap on her career and moves to New York for the first time for a gallery show. And B returns in the flesh, asking to meet. But the man who shows up isn't who he says he is. Eve is pulled into a trap at her gallery show, engineered by the very beings haunting her. As their true intentions close around her, a stranger crashes through the meeting, a man she's never met, but instantly recognizes the real B. Together with the true storm chasers, Eve must uncover why the monsters came to Earth and why she, of all survivors, is the key to stopping them. So again, I'll kind of just repeat myself here, but it helps me get caught up to speed myself. So Eve, and I will kind of enter into this chat. Actually, I wrote out, when I'm coming up with an idea, sometimes the character will speak directly to me or through me, and I have to write it out, a scene or a conversation they're having, because it just feels like it's really important to reveal more of the story. So character-driven stories are what we can relate to, and it's through their actions that the story propels itself forward. So I'm just going to read this. My cat again. I'm going to read this chat I have going on between the two characters, the two main characters in their. So there's the group chat with all of the survivors that B, this guy, has designed as a way for them all to connect, and they're called the Storm Chasers because, once again, they're kind of studying other lightning storms to see if it's a reoccurring thing or if it just was that one time when they were struck by lightning that this whole event occurred. So the chat between her and B specifically is what I'm going to read. And it is Eve. So E, I want to tell you my name. B, no. E, it's been 10 years. I need you to know at least that much, and I want to know yours. B, no information revealing your identity, please. What's gotten into you? E, I can't do this anymore. What, you're going to kick me out? B, I'll have to. It's the one rule that keeps us safe. E, So many of the others choose to reveal themselves over the years. Are you really telling me no one else from our group has ever tracked each other down, tried to meet? B. It doesn't matter what they've done. They've crossed a line exposing themselves. We can only survive if we stay off the Riven's radar. I need you, like I always have, to trust me on this. Rivens is the monster. Monsters. Monsters! Exclamation point. Eve. I want to show everyone what I've made for us. B. What you've made? You mean your paintings? Eve. Yes. I've made an entire collection for all of us, and I want to show it. Please don't shut me out. B. Do not expose yourself. You will put yourself and others at risk. Eve. I need you to see me. I need things to change. B. Just hold out a little longer. I've been working on something too. Do you trust me? Eve. You know I do. You're the only person I do. B. Then hang in there. Eve. Something happened though. I have to leave. I've been given an opportunity I've waited for a very long time. B. You're relocating. Eve. Yes. B. Have you met these people? The ones giving you this opportunity? Eve. Not in person, just over FaceTime. B. Don't do it. Don't go. Eve. I can't not go, B. If you knew how long I've been waiting for this, I need to start somewhere new. B. There is no starting over for people like us. We've been cursed by this ability to see them. We need to stay cautious until more information comes to light. Eve. No, B. I can't keep living this way. I'd rather risk having a life than stay trapped in this pathetic version of one. B. V. Please. Or, yeah, Eve. She goes by V. Eve. I'll take what's coming. But before I go, I want to tell you my name, and I'll tell the group too. B. V. No. Don't tell me. I can't protect you if you go public. I'm already afraid it's too late based on what you've been doing. Eve. It was never your job to protect me. B. It has been. For the past 10 years, it's all I've cared about. It's all that's kept me going. Don't you understand? I don't want to lose you. Eve. Then let me tell you my name. B. No, please, V. I don't want to cut you out. Eve. It's Eve. Eve Chanter. Connection lost. User disconnected. Then Eve goes to the group chat post. Eve opens the main group chat, her hands trembling, and posts the article featuring the promotion for her upcoming exhibit. So it's like a whole catalog breakdown. Hi, cat. I know, Bilbo. My cat's meowing at me. So it's a whole breakdown of kind of her collection, how she was struck by lightning and has made these paintings based off the photographs she takes of all the storms she chases as a way to kind of express herself and the pain she's gone through from this incident that changed her life. She doesn't go into the details. She lets the art speak for itself in this exhibit. And so now we have those cards, right? Oh, actually, sorry, let me get back to what she puts in the group chat post. So she opens the group chat and with her trembling hands posts the article featuring the promotion for her upcoming exhibit as an invitation to anyone that wants to see it, and if they're near New York. For those of us who don't want to hide anymore, I will be here. I choose life, monsters, and all. So now she is cut off from B, who she was closest with in the group. He's cut her off from the chat they have together. And then he's also cut her off from the group chat to protect the others of the group that he started. And with our cards, lost my slipper. Come back, slipper. With our cards, we now have a lot of things in motion, right? So just to review, so we have the survivor, we have the storm chasers, and we have the long awaited invitation. So she is a working artist wherever she lives currently. And now she's been given this long awaited invitation. She gets to show her art in New York, the place to show your art in the world. And this invitation is her signal to start living her life openly and fully, not being afraid, because these monsters, even when they're confronted, right, like they're just living in human skin, they haven't bothered with her up until this point, in her, since the incident happened 10 years ago. So she's has a, she just has learned to ignore them, essentially. They as long as they don't bother her, she won't bother them. And no one will believe her in her public life, so what's the point? And she's just tired of thinking about living a life rather than actually, she's tired of not living her life to the full potential, basically. And that's kind of what her art has been her ticket towards, is I'm going to live this life. But what's interesting is once she gets to New York, when she gets settled, and right before the exhibit happens, B opens the chat. So that was kind of like I gave you my logline, my synopsis, and then the expanded synopsis, it would be like Act Two, identity, art, and betrayal. So she's heartbroken and furious. She moves to New York, and then she sees more monsters because there's more people in New York than she's ever seen before, but she keeps to herself. And then one day, a message on Signal pops up, and Eve, it's B. I'm sorry, can we talk? And he wants to meet her, she thinks. She thinks this is the B that she's talked to for all these years. She thinks he's come around and isn't being as careful. And she's able to verify his identity using the precautions he taught her and then they meet at a small cafe. And I had it that he's wearing like a Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy reference, because maybe that's like their favorite movie together. And it just says like "Don't Panic" on the shirt. And I just really loved that image. And so yeah, they start seeing each other real life and like building on the relationship. And I can kind of get into why they're able to access like her private chats. It doesn't matter. Like these beings are so powerful, they're interdimensional, so they can kind of cross signals essentially. And then, so the gallery happens, and just getting my notes. Even E tries to speak with a special. So the gallery date comes, and she's loving life. She's with B, or the guy she thinks is B, and she's at the show and speaking with kind of the gallery owners and all these kind of wealthy buyers, people that are going to invest in her. And she's having a great time, even though like she knows some of them are monsters, because like a lot of the wealthy people in the party seem to kind of have that vibe to them. And then the gallery owners kind of invite Eve to like a private room to, have a drink, talk business, essentially, of investing in her. And then the monsters confront her openly for the first time. So it's the first time she's had a conversation with like a monster being like, you know what we are, and we know that you know that, so let's have an open conversation. They praise her art, knowing exactly what she sees, and they want to recruit her and others like her. And this is like starting to make her very nervous. She knows not to trust them because of what they've done to society on a big scale, but she's never individually had to confront one in person like this. And then B reveals, or the guy she thought was B reveals the truth, that he is not B, and he's been impersonating him, tracking Eve, and manipulating her trust to lure her here because he is one of them. And not only is he one of them, he's like a very powerful one. And then all of a sudden the lights die, chaos erupts, and then the fake bee lunges for her, but then this kind of stranger comes in with a bunch of devices, bam, 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 bam. And he is able to retrieve Eve and escapes with her out the window, ziplining to another building. And then Eve doesn't even get to ask who this guy is before he basically she's panicking, so he has to knock her out or something. You shush you. And then Eve wakes up in the safe house filled with strangers, chatting casually over breakfast. People of all ages, backgrounds, and countries. They greet her warmly, and then she realizes that these are the real storm chasers, the original survivor group. And then she sees a man enter the kitchen. He's exhausted. Glasses slip down his nose. He looks exactly like he would be around her age. His presence in itself feels familiar in a way that cuts deep. He says quietly, "Hello, Eve." This time she knows it's really him, B, in the flesh. And the monsters have no idea that B and his real storm chasing team have just rescued the only survivor they've been waiting for. So there is the mystery of like, what is it about Eve that the monsters want specifically? There's something about her. And we don't know what that is at this point. But what the real B was trying to organize was for the whole group to get together because he's like the mastermind behind their anonymity. And he wanted her to trust him, and then she didn't. She went off on her own, and he was very hurt by that. So he's hurt by that betrayal, and she's hurt by the betrayal that he cuts her out. And so there is a romantic element to this of their relationship and how they've kind of been friends for so long, but have never met and don't know any like truly revealing personal details apart from what they've shared together, that wouldn't reveal their identity. And I think with this film, what I love is a lot of us have grown up talking or meeting strangers online and developing those relationships, those parasocial relationships where I don't even like you get to know someone and then you may never meet them, but you can connect just through dialogue. And it's an interesting relationship to build, but imagine the closest community you have in your life is online. And I'd like to see more movies exploring that idea or books. I really love this idea, and it made me think of the show Utopia, which came out ironically around the pandemic. And it's about, if you haven't seen the show Utopia, please go watch it. The community that they have online in that show is really intriguing, and all the characters are super eclectic, and I really loved it. So for me, the feel of this production would be like the TV show Utopia meets Edge of Tomorrow. And with that idea in mind, I would love to see someone like Doug Liman to direct it. And then I will kind of show my cast here real quick. The ideal cast, if they're listening. Boom. Oh, hold on. Those are my notes. So for Eve, I would love to see Ella Purnell play her. And then we have the two Bs. The fake B that we're introduced to first is Damson Idris. He was in F1, and I haven't seen him play a bad guy yet. He's very charismatic, and I think it would be really interesting for him to be presented at the beginning as the B we think he is, only for him to turn out to be like one of the monsters living among us. And I just think he has a lot of interesting range, and I would like to see him play that character. And then the real B would be Tom Holland. I just love Tom Holland. I would love to see him play kind of like a more stoic, distant, secretive guy that has orchestrated everything. He's like a major hacker, just a brilliant character. But you can't push him around. Just very pragmatic. I think Ella Purnell has such a good like comedic, sweet range. Like she's so good on Fallout and everything else she's been in. I think the two of them would have, well, all three of them would have amazing chemistry, but I just really would love to see these three people in the lead. And that's my cast. But yeah, I really, that's kind of what I envision. And I say Doug Liman because he directed Edge of Tomorrow, and he's Born Identity. Like he's got this like slickness to his storytelling. Like I feel like he could do a really good action adventure with a little bit of romance in there. And my working title is Veilborn. because these interdimensional beings have pierced our veil essentially and are kind of reborn in their human form. And also our survivors are reborn because their lives are changed forever once the interdimensional beings come through. They become new people. And I like any story where a traumatic thing happens to a character and then we watch how it changes them, or we watch what they do with it. Like, are they going to lead in their life by example so this never happens to anyone again? Are they going to become protectors based on the pain they've experienced themselves? Or are they going to go out and hurt others? Because that's what essentially negative occurrences do to us. We either want to do better or we lash out and hurt. So it's always an interesting idea to explore. And I love this idea of an eclectic group of people coming together, all ages, all ethnicities, working together in this unlikely group. So I think that would be a really fun movie. That's what I have for this Storymatic. I hope you like it. I really like it, and I honestly might just write the script because those characters, especially the two mains, like there's something so sweet about their relationship where they know everything about each other, but they don't know they didn't know each other's name. They don't know where each other lives. They don't know those little details that we get off. If you're on a first date, you know, obviously right away those things. So I thought that was a really intriguing idea for like a romance subplot. Yeah, that's what I have. And I will do my next Storymatic draw. I'm going to make some more content around this, but I think I am going to try to write this whole breakdown out, this whole script out at some point. If anyone wants to help me, please let me know. I would love your help because I have way too many writing projects as it is. But for now, I'm going to do the next Storymatic draw. Yeah, again, I wish I want to start doing a couple of these a week. It's just been a little tricky with day job and all that. I know that's not an excuse, but it is what it is. Okay, so I get so nervous. Let's see. Okay, first card. Hunger. Hunger. Yeah. Next card. Just gotta work on my posture. Yeah, tall girl problems, you know? If only what was said could be taken back. Ooh. Okay, I like that. And then let's get into character notes. Mind reader. Ooh. Oh. I have such a thing for mind reader tropes. I just read a lot of fantasy, a lot of romantasy as well. And there's always mind reading. Let's see here. Oh, this one. Person who can't stop thinking about that dream last night. Oh, that's fun. I definitely had one of those. It was scary. I don't know how you guys are with dreams, but I've had dreams where they legitimately feel like premonitions. I could go off forever about why I think you should pay attention to your dreams or try to write them down. Dreams are really interesting. We know so little about dreams and what they actually are referring to. Yeah, I could talk about that all the day. Just consciousness, you know, bing. What is this our consciousness is not in our body. We're just these weird antennas tapping into our own Wi-Fi for our consciousness. And that's kind of how I view it. But yes, I could ramble about that all day. I will be making more content around this Storymatic in particular on my socials. So if you want to check that out, it's Sam Christiane. And yeah, other than that, I'm just trying to build my Inner World business, which is Inner World Workshop. If you wanted to follow those socials, it's going to be, I'm just selling, I call it kind of wearable art, but movie and book quotes that have really helped me throughout the years. I embroider them on clothes. I'm going to be focusing on some upcycling of mixed materials to make into clothes, but for now I'm just doing kind of sweatshirts. And yeah, it's super fun. Another way to build up what I want to do with my life and how I want to live and make money. And so I can get out of some other jobs I have. It's never just one job, but that's okay. Like I said, when I started this little live, everything is work, and it doesn't matter if you aren't in your dream job, it's still your time that you're putting into your day job or whatever you're doing. So just remember that. Try to make the work enjoyable in any way you can. There's always something to learn. You can always do what I did. Any job I've ever had, I have like notes in my bra and I write things all day long if I can't have like a pen and paper near me. And yeah, just always take notes. Be looking around anywhere you go and make notes on what you observe, what you feel, how strange life is, and how writing helps you think through it all. Write out everything more than you think and internalize it, because thoughts, it's like, again, if we're these antennas and we're tapping into our specific Wi-Fi, what do you want your antenna to pick up? Do you want to pick up something that's intriguing and it'll expand your consciousness, or do you want to pick up thoughts that are really detrimental and keep you stuck in your circumstances? Writing is thinking, so look at it that way. Write out everything. It will help, I promise. Okay, I'm gonna take off for now. Thank you so much for tuning into the Storymatic, this live. I really appreciate it. Love you and goodbye.